Greetings once again, seekers of Mother. Duuz-Diz-Din, back again with more Eden Zero. Last time we explored the past of Saint Fire Nox, revealed to be Rebecca's mother, who in truth was not the Saint Fire Nox of Oratian Says Galactica myth. No, that was in fact her mother. You see, those of the Church of Saint Fire have power over time. It runs in the family. But they are a very zealous religion, or at least they were. And so, Saint Fire Nox, Rachel, sought to escape from the watchful eye of those people, making her way to the Sakura Cosmos, I believe, and getting to know Connor very well, eventually becoming pregnant by him. However, once the zealots of Saint Fire managed to track Rachel down and found out what Connor had done, wink wink nudge nudge, they killed him. So if you're questioning how is he still alive, well, time travel. Or going to alternate timeline. Rachel did that until she managed to get to a timeline where Connor had managed to survive, which ultimately was one where Rachel went back to the Church of Saint Fire of her own volition. Unfortunately, since she was already pregnant, she had Rebecca, and the Zealots weren't happy about that either. So, several timelines of, no easy way to say it, dead babies later, resulted in Rachel giving up Rebecca on the streets in order to save her life. The ultimately sad part is that eventually the influence of the church kind of dissipated, but the deeds were already done. The family was already separated. Rachel's mother had long died, which is why the Zealots came after her, and it was only a matter of time before she was captured by Ziggy. But the family is reunited now, and Rebecca has the benefit of getting to know her parents finally. Will it truly be a happy ending for all of them? Or is this a precursor to even more tragedy? Join me as I find out, won't you? Alright, Eden Zero? I like that. You got Wise and Sister in Western attire. Kind of makes me think of, what was their names from Fairy Tale? Alzak and Bisca? I think it was. Alright, so chapter 219, The Final Word. That's either triumphant or ominous, but you could say that about any title, honestly. Alright. We fly aboard the Eden Zero, sailing through the Sakura Cosmos, as we have Rachel and Connor essentially kind of doting on Rebecca, as Wise, Shiki, and Hamura sit stunned across from them. Rebecca, a little embarrassed, says to her parents, do you think you could stop hanging all over me? I can't really blame them, though. I mean, given all that they tried to avoid, this was the outcome that Rachel was aiming for. It's wildly unfortunate they didn't get to be with each other for so long, but it was only through Rachel's actions that they were able to get to this point, with none of them dead. Again, that feeling of, give it time, just creeps into my soul. Connor says, "Alas, it were 18 years since we were a family." Rachel says, "We're just so happy to be with our little girl." But Rebecca says, "Yeah, but..." And memories of events on the ship play out, with Connor holding up a very suggestive game that says, clearly, 18 only, adults only. As Connor holds it up saying, "Come now, play a video game with your dear old dad." Rebecca says, "That's not a game you play with your parents." Ew. Have Rachel in her bath attire saying, "Come take a bath with me, ducky." Rebecca says, "I just had a bath." And then we have both Connor and Rachel, or Connor says, "You can sleep with mommy and daddy tonight." Rebecca says, "Ew, no." It is very unfortunate. Oh god. Do you have Connor and Rachel looking at each other longingly? As Connor says, "It just brings back so many memories." Rachel says, "Yeah, it sure does." And then Connor just jumps her, calling out her name, and Rachel says, "Sweetie, oh no." And Rebecca says, "Not in front of the children!" But Rebecca explains, everyone on the crew has lost their parents, and what's worse, on Lendar they were forced to see the horrible things that happened to their mother. Could you be grown-ups and show a little consideration, please? She has kind of a point. I don't blame her for being a bit apprehensive to a certain degree. And Rachel and Connor, taking it in, sulk just a little bit. But Wise says, "Nah, it doesn't bother me." Hamura says, "Indeed, I find it heartwarming." charming. And Shiki says, family's so great. Happy says, anyway, Rebecca's mom really looks just like her. That's because Mashima only has so many character designs he implements. But that's style. Come on. Pino says, that is what they call genetics. Although I also know plenty of parents who look exactly like their children. Well, children who look exactly like younger versions of their parents. That's why in some situations you'll have children of actors play younger versions of them in some situations. Rachel says, it's just like looking at a younger version of me. That has uncomfortable connotations, but I'll leave it as what she's just saying. Jin says, you look pretty young yourself. While Klein has picked up a few things from Rachel saying, Ducky. And Rachel says, ooh, nicely said. There sure are a lot of lookers amongst Rebecca's friends. She looks directly at Laguna. Rachel then goes over to Rebecca and says, which one of them's your boyfriend? And Rebecca questions, what? But Rachel says, no, let me guess. Rebecca gets flustered saying, will you cut that out already? But Hermit questions, so, what are you going to do now? Sister adds, if you want to stay on the ship, then. But Rachel dejectedly says, I'm going back home for now. Connor's taken aback, saying, what? Even Shiki shakingly says, but you're finally together again. Sister adds, and you just told us your home is... Hermit finishes saying, the planet Milt. Wise questions, but you said Ziggy destroyed the place, right? Rachel explains, there were some survivors, and they're sure to be worried about. Look, I said for now, remember. We can see each other again anytime once all the dust is settled. Connor says, but Rachel adds, besides, our reunion might be even more magical in the other world. Rachel questions the other world. Rebecca questions the other world. Rachel says, that's right. All of you are about to go to a different world. Jin's obviously confused. Klein asks why. And Laguna says, what do you mean? Rachel explains, I mean, that's our only hope now. I know this might come as a bit of a shock, but try to stay calm. Mother is dying. Since when? Did the thing that Ziggy was trying to do, did he already manage to do it before they got there? And how does she know this? Naturally, everyone present is shocked by this revelation. But Rachel explains, our words, I'm like my friggin' mom. There's too many people in our family with the girls with S names and the guys with K names, and it's just like, come on. Rachel explains, Mother's life force is running out, and when it does, the whole human race and all the cosmos will go extinct. This is what Ziggy was saying during his backstory. That was what the robotic council of the future tasked him with. Finding why life, both human and even robot, was coming to an end, and what was causing it, and how to prevent it. Rachel explains, not too far in the future, it'll be lights out for this world. Rebecca questions, the world is ending. But Shiki notes, you know things about Mother? Rachel says, of course I know about her. In the Church of Saint Fire, we put all our faith in Mother. Okay. I guess that makes a lot of sense. It was always kind of odd that we never had anyone who seemed to be, religiously interested in Mother. It was a kind of a thing that everyone noted and knew about and stuff, but it just never felt like Mother was a deity figure like it feels like she should have been. Naturally, Rebecca is shocked by this, but Wise says, okay, hold up. Religions try and pull this garbage all the time. The world is coming to an end. If you join our church, you can avoid the disaster. Now come and join us. I actually can't blame him for that. I can't blame him for that, because that tends to be the case. But Rachel questions, whoa, what decade did you come from? What is it about what he just said that makes him seem older than he is? He does say, I'm from 50 years ago. Rachel explains, look, I'm not proselytizing. Proselytizing? That's a word I'm not really that familiar with. I'm not proselytizing here. The mother of this world has already started losing her power. Jin questions, so what? Why should her losing her power mean the world is over? Rachel explains, because Mother is our source of life. We believe that the human race was born from the great maternal being we call Mother. So a part of Mother flows through each and every one of us. I wonder if that's why some can use ether gear. Maybe a deeper connection to Mother empowers certain people. Rachel explains, if we lose Mother, then all humankind will inevitably die out. Happy questions, But why is Mother getting weaker? Rachel says, I don't know why. But it's true. And it's true in every world I've visited. Rebecca questions, every world you've visited? Rachel goes on saying, I can't even count how many times I've jumped through time to see what I could find, but it was always the same. Every single world, Mother died. Every world but one. There it is again. That one universe where things stayed the same. The world of possibility. Universe 0. What Ziggy was trying to get through to initially during his mission. Okay, so there's corroboration there. Ziggy's initial mission from coming from the future to find out and prevent whatever causes humanity, life in general in the universe to just coming to a dead end a lot sooner than what most would think it would have come to. I mean, a couple of thousand years, that's still a good long time, but the universe shouldn't hit like a straight up dead end at that point, not the universe collectively as a whole. I forgot they were here. Labelli just breaks the silence saying, Labellius says, wait a minute, none of this is making any sense to me. Katru, naturally chomping down on a burger, I had a burger just a little while ago, says, or me. Hermit explains, Universe 0. According to Ziggy, it's the only world where Mother survives. So to put it the other way, Mother dies in every other universe. Rachel says, exactly. Connor says, yar, what be these universes again? Rachel explains, in other words, parallel worlds. The result of a single choice fan out into countless possible worlds. When a number is assigned to one of these parallel worlds, we call it a universe. Honestly, this feels a little bit overly sci-fi, but if you've been reading enough of Mashima's stuff, it makes so much sense that this is the direction that he's come to, making it like a real plot point. Because in Rave Master, he essentially had a time loop for one character. And I think, was there a moment of altering time? In Fairy Tail, we've had time travel. I mean, there were people who were just jumping forward in time. Some would go back and then some would just stay in the current timeline. That was a lot of plot points of people just jumping forward in time. Now with Eden Zero, it is like the most central of core theme of just, this happened in this timeline, go to another timeline. And it doesn't mean that it didn't happen, it's just, in another timeline you've managed to avert it. Rachel explains, but it ain't possible to observe the differences in these universes unless you have the power to travel through time. Like Rebecca and me. Rebecca questions her mother saying, and you're telling me to go to Universe 0? And Rachel explains, no, I'm telling all of you to go. I mean, of course, everyone's kind of taken aback by this revelation, and even Rebecca questions, how? But Rachel tells us something that, honestly, anyone who's been keeping up with, like, the past, story arc, honestly, would know. As Rachel says, on this ship, that's what it's for, ain't it? Like, yeah, the Eden Zero. With the ability to travel across space-time. Ziggy even says, a ship to travel across space-time. The Eden Zero. So, like, there's so much of Ziggy's story that is now being corroborated, and it's being proven to be true. But there's still those holes in Ziggy's story that need some kind of explanation. Yeah, Shiki thinks back to Ziggy's words, and Rachel says, come and see me when you get to Universe 0. Is she okay in Universe 0? Rachel says, I can show you the way to Mother. I don't know where she is, but I can still guide you. That's how it is in Universe 0. You must find Mother. That will be the key to saving her. Have we ever seen Mother with her eyes open? Fascinating. And naturally everyone has a determined look on their face because, well, I mean, this is kind of what they've all been leading toward. And this was the goal, you know? The want to discover Mother. We kind of sidelined Shiki's goal of making 100 friends, but the Mother quest is a little bit more interesting. So this is it, the end goal. The true possibility. It's not just about finding Mother, it's about saving Mother as well. Save Mother, save the universe. Rachel goes on to explain, but there's one thing you can never forget. Universe 0 is the world of possibility. Once you all become observers of it, it has the potential to become whatever world each of you wants it to be. That could be dangerous. I mean, that sounds beautiful, but world of possibilities, that means terrible possibilities as well. Shiki questions the potential. Rachel says, Universe Zero is an irregular world and the starting point of everything. All the universes converge at zero. Rachel says, so what does that mean? Rebecca says, so what does that mean? Rachel says, it means that once you get to zero, there is no turning back. You and I will both lose our powers to travel through time. And of course, so will the Eden Zero. Oh, okay. So looking at it from that point, it's kind of like, hey, in all these other timelines, you have the ability to travel through time. They're a lot less stable, at least for people like Rachel and Rebecca. But you get to the prime timeline, the zero timeline, that's it. There's no going back. There's no alterations. There's no changes. There's no do-overs. There is no save states for your game. Oh, there it is. Rachel says Universe Zero is the final world. Okay. This is interesting. It's very much RPG-like, but most things that Mashima does are very much RPG-like. But I feel like this one goes the hardest. Because, with Rave Master, the Battle of Light and Dark, that ultimately comes to a head. Earth, world-shattering events. With Fairy Tail, it was pretty big, but honestly, Fairy Tail, it didn't go too out of control. Mashima kind of confined things to like countrywide events, but we never really explored too far out of that country. With this, it's universe spanning, timeline spanning. That's wild. Okay, we are leading into the final boss, the final saga, the final arc, the final event, and there's no telling what's going to happen. There's no going back. But the way Rachel said things, if there's no way to travel through time again, how do they get back? If they jump to Universe Zero, is that just where they're at permanently? Will that just become the solidified timeline? How have things played out in Universe Zero? And why was it that Ziggy ultimately was not able to reach Universe Zero? There's still a lot of questions. Is it ultimately that something like the Eden's One, with its corruption, became the ultimate evil, and in other universes it succeeds in destroying Mother, but Universe Zero is the one universe where Mother was never destroyed by the Eden's One? Does that make it so that Ziggy, in his effort to save Mother, being sent to the past, ultimately ends up being the creator of the destruction of Mother in other universes? I'm interested to see how this goes. But let me know your thoughts and theories in the comments section below. How do you feel about this lead up into the final arc? What do you think is ultimately the thing killing Mother? And how will they save it? I'm interested to hear from you. But also remember to like, subscribe, bell, all that good YouTube stuff. And until next time, I've been Duuz-Diz-Din, and I hope to see you in the next video. Till then, bye-bye.